What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for life. And finally, I've got some football focus. I apologize for missing so many games this year. It is the worst year for me in coverage in Steelers history since I started doing journalism for the Steelers for different sites in 2010. I've missed 2 games this season, had cable problems, had streaming issues, had health problems, still figuring out my health. But I wanted to bring you guys some form of a catch up to make good for all the football fans subscribing to this channel. Thank you guys for sticking around in spite of my inconsistent posting. I'm sorry to the football fans out there, but I wanted to bring you guys kind of a bit of a look back so far at our season. We are 5-5-1, and I wanted to look back at how inconsistent the Steelers have been and why the Steelers are so bad. That is what this video is going to be called, Why the Steelers Are Bad. I want to look at position by position and break down the players who are playing and all the reasons why we are struggling right now. Again, something I'm not concerned about. This is not a doom and gloom video. 5-5-1, I'm not that concerned. There are no elite teams in the NFL this year. Every team has got blemishes on their record. Teams like Kansas City and Buffalo are considered the 2 best in the AFC. They have 3 and 4 losses apiece. They've been losing like crazy, including Buffalo losing to the Steelers. Kansas City's been wildly inconsistent all year. Tennessee's been inconsistent all year. They've not been consistently good at all. The Patriots started off terrible, and they're just starting to catch fire in the AFC. The Ravens have issues. The Browns are a very average team at best. The Bengals, who beat us and destroyed us yesterday, have a lot of issues. Every team in the league has got 3 or 4 losses, so us being 1 or 2 games behind at 5-5-1, not that concerned. The Ravens are ahead of the division, and they have a lot of problems too. So, and even with our bad record, they're only what? 2 games ahead of us, 2.5 games ahead of us, with 2 head-to-head games to play? That is not my concern. We have plenty of divisional games left. We have plenty of chances to make up ground, so nothing is out of possibility realm. Being 2.5 games back in the division with this much to play does not mean we're out of that race, and it doesn't mean that we're out of the wild card race either. If you look at, again, we beat Buffalo already. Indianapolis not playing great. Chargers beat us, but they lost again yesterday. They're not playing great. Denver Broncos are very inconsistent. So every team in the AFC and the league in general is very inconsistent this year. But what I am concerned about, while not the record, I'm concerned about the way we are playing and the lack of heart we're showing, the holes on both sides of the ball for us. So let's break down positions real quick. As long as my phone allows me to post this and have enough memory, I want to break down positionally why the Steelers are struggling. Let's start on offense. Quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. He's not the quarterback he once was. We know this. Ben is in, his 18th season, and he took hits like crazy for the first 15 years of his career before he started getting the ball out faster. Ben no longer has the durability or the arm strength that he once did. He's injured, he's older, and he's slowed down quite a bit. So when you see him out there throwing a lot of balls, it's usually either he's doing jet sweeps, he's doing a lot of short swing passes, they're doing a lot of wide receiver screens to the outside now, they do some short slants, especially when Juju's healthy in there. Not this season, but they do a lot of short slants. And Ben throws a lot of 50-50 balls down the sidelines for Deontay and Claypool to go get. A lot of Ben's biggest plays and a lot of the beef of our offense is just throwing the ball down the field and trying to hope that Claypool or Deontay or even sometimes James Washington goes and gets the ball. So that makes us pretty one-dimensional in that sense. So while Ben is still a Hall of Famer and still has something left in his tank, his arm strength and his durability and his uniqueness as a play extender is no longer what it once was. But he is on his way out. He has had some bad games, including yesterday, and he's got this season and maybe next season left. I'm not even sure about that at this point. I think we could be looking at the end of the Big Ben era here in Pittsburgh. Running back, nothing to worry about. Najee Harris, we've already seen glimpses of what he can do running the ball and receiving the ball, being a dual threat, being patient, being physical, finishing runs. We know he can be special. Right now, he does not have the offense around him to do so. The blocking is not there. The offensive line is not there. We'll talk about that in a second. But because of this offensive line, Najee cannot do what he is able to do. But as long as he stays healthy, we have nothing to worry about. As the line continues to mature and get better and get trades and get fresh faces in there, Najee is going to be exactly who we thought he was when we drafted him. Young star with a lot of potential and a high ceiling. Wide receivers. First things first, Juju's not there right now. He's hurt, and that is a big loss. He was our number 1 listed receiver, even if he wasn't the best overall receiver we have. Deontay Johnson is our best overall receiver, best route runner, fastest, best overall playmaker. Antonio Brown in his prime kind of ceiling who could be a star, but Ben winds up missing him a lot. He had hand issues last year, was dropping a lot of balls, led the league in drops last year. This year he's catching nearly everything. I think he only has one drop registered for the entire season, and he's catching a lot of really tough, like end zone and sideline and deep balls. He's doing a lot for us. Chase Claypool, he's one-dimensional right now. He's not a very good route runner at all. He's not very good at a ton of separation, but he does catch a lot of those down the sideline balls, and he is good at the jet sweep stuff as well. So he converts on the run, running on the end around, and he catches a lot of sideline balls. So he's got a good point of attack. He's got strong hands for the deep balls, and he's got some difference in his play calling. He can run or he can catch, but he has to work on his route running, and he has to work on his separation aside from those down the sideline balls. James Washington, very nice piece, but does not get enough targets. Tight ends. Freiermuth is the man. Just like Najee Harris, we're already seeing what he can do. Red zone target, physical, strong hands. Ben trusts him. We're already seeing what is possible for Freiermuth. He's not getting enough targets. When he started to get a lot of targets for those 2 weeks in a row, he was on fire. He's got 5 touchdowns in the last 5 games. He can make some big plays like his big catch yesterday. He needs more opportunities. Eric Ebron, sadly, still has a lot of drop issues. He is who he always was. He's big. He's a very fast guy. He's got good size. He has good agility. He's a matchup nightmare if he could catch the ball, but he's very unreliable. When he does catch it, he makes some good traffic catches, some good third down catches, but he doesn't often catch it. He's going to be going after this year, I've got a feeling. Third string tight end, who are we looking at? I forget the guy's name right now. Zach Gentry. Zach Gentry. Good blocker. He's playing a lot more this year with Ebron out and being a better blocker than Ebron, but he's still very, very slow, and he's not very great at catching the ball. So we're going to need another tight end piece at the end of this year when Ebron leaves. So we're not getting a ton of productivity yet because Ebron is hurt a lot. Gentry's not much of a playmaker, and Freiermuth is not getting enough targets. So the talent is there, but the productivity has not been. Offensive line is our number one issue on offense. For all the struggles we have, for turning the ball over, for Ben's age, for our wide receiver injuries, for all that stuff, the biggest issue we have on offense, why the Steelers suck this season, offensive line. And we kind of knew it coming in. Trey Turner got traded over. Kevin Dotson's only in his second season. Kendra Green and Dan Moore are both rookies who just got drafted. Chuks Okorafor is not very good. So there is a lot of issues there. Zach Banner just came back. He's been healthy for a couple of weeks, and he has been scratched or he's been not played. He played as a backup for a couple of plays last game. So they don't trust Zach Banner in spite of the contract extension either. So we've got a lot of issues on the offensive line. We have not seen Trey Turner's getting a lot of penalties. He's not producing very well. Dotson is currently injured. I think he's our best out of the 5 starters we have. The backup center we had, he's injured right now. We're starting BJ Finney at guard, who's a decent fill-in piece, but nothing special. Kendra Green is a very good pulling center. When they pull him for different runs like counter plays, he pulls very well. He's physical. He is an attitude guy. He's a Steelers style guy, but he's not been doing a very good job at pass blocking in particular or run blocking. Again, he's physical on certain styles of runs, but he's inconsistent. And I don't like his pass blocking, and we've seen how erratic he can be at center snapping the ball. Since he's a good puller and he's physical, he might be a good switch to guard, in my opinion. But as a center, he's not doing his job very well. He's not consistent in blocking in either phase of the game, and he's snapping the ball over Ben's head too high and too low quite a bit. Got to watch that. Dan Moore has shown moments of goodness, but yesterday he wound up with his guy like 5 feet in the backfield causing the fumble. He also gets a lot of penalties too, so you got to hope those two guys will get better as time goes on. They've got physical traits, but they're not playing well so far. That's, again, our biggest problem in the whole issue with the offense. Defensively, we've got some issues on defense too. A lot of them. Injuries on the front 3. Tyson Alualu is an immeasurable injury. When we got him back from Jacksonville this year, I was so excited. He's great at run stuffing. He's good in the middle of the line. He gets some sacks. He's a good batted ball guy. He's a good recognition player. He's a veteran. He knows what he's doing on play recognition. Without Tyson Alualu in the middle, it forces Cam to play in the middle at times like he did yesterday, and it slows Cam down, and it gets 2 guys on Cam. Stephon Tuitt had 2 very good seasons, 2 of his 2 best seasons as the other D end, and him not playing all year. I know he's going through grieving and stuff, so I'm not blaming him, but him not playing all year now means the two of the three, we had three all-stars in our front three of the best at their spots in the front three, and without two of those guys, that means the Cam Hayward, who's playing out of his mind amazing, best player on defense we've had all season, consistently having one of his best years, up for Defensive Player of the Year. But without two all-stars next to you and you're playing with backups, you're not going to get it done. Isaiah Buggs has not been trusted by the office. He was a healthy scratch yesterday. He's been inconsistent. He's had a couple of plays, couple of tackles here and there, but it's not enough to get it done. I don't feel like Carlos Davis has done much in his limited time in there. Who's the other guy? Henry Mondo's played a little bit. He's a preseason guy that'll flash once in a while, but he's not going to give you a whole lot on the defensive line. The one guy that I like on the defensive line when he gets to play a little bit is Isaiah Loudermilk. He had a batted ball yesterday. He's got a few this season, and he had a nice tackle on a running back yesterday. I like his limited plays. He doesn't play enough, but when he does, you see his name out there on the stat sheet. You hear his name being called. Loudermilk is a big guy, maybe even oversized, but he's a rookie, but he's starting off solid. I think he's going to be kind of a lesser version of what Cam Hayward has been for us. I like him, but Hayward needs more help. I don't know if that means signing another D tackle, putting Loudermilk in there as the starter, going back to Buggs. We don't have enough depth on that D line, and enough guys have not shown us that they should be there. So that's a big problem for us. Linebackers, huge problem for the linebackers. T.J. Watt didn't play well yesterday at all. He was totally on a milk carton. You couldn't find him, but I think he's still injured. He came back from the injury. He looked like he was limping a little bit. He looked a little slow. He got constant double teams, of course. So Watt obviously is not somebody you worry about. He's one of the best defensive players in the entire league. He's an impact guy. Alex Highsmith has played pretty good the last couple of weeks, played good yesterday. A little inconsistent. He's nowhere near at the consistency level that Bud Dupree was a year before, but I like what Highsmith is doing. I think he's a solid outside linebacker starter for us, and he's going to mature into something bigger and better. They both have to stay healthy, though. They've had a lot of injury issues, and we traded away our veteran backup at that spot. So we're down to those two guys as our starters. So when one of those two guys goes down, like they have a lot this season, we have no depth back there. I don't know what happened to, not Jarvis Jones, what the heck was his name? The guy in preseason, Jermaine Jones, I forget his name off the top of my head. The guy in preseason who had like 5 sacks, he hasn't played at all. I don't know if he's cut now. I don't know if he's somewhere else. You need someone out there you can trust who knows the system to play as a backup. You trade the veteran away, and you don't play the preseason phenom. So I don't know what we're doing out there now as backups. We have Henry Tuska, and we have guys like that out there, guys I don't even know, and I don't understand what's happening. So when those two outside starters are healthy, we're good, but they've been injured, playing injured, and again getting injured quite a bit. So we don't have any backup depth there. Trading away Melvin Ingram was a mistake, and I said it at the time. Inside linebackers, bigger problem. Devin Bush. Where in the world is Devin Bush? He was showing us so much potential. He was always a coverage liability, but as a run stuffer, and as a speed guy, and as an overall playmaker, and a ball hawk who would get to the forced fumbles and fumble recoveries, interceptions over the middle, he was really good at that. He was good at every phase of the game, really, except for coverage. And since he came back from the injury this season, he has not looked good at all. He's been slow on getting to his gaps. He's been making the wrong adjustments. He's been reading the gaps wrong. He's not been a good tackler, which was a strength of his before. He's still been bad in coverage. I'm not seeing any upside right now to Devin Bush. He's having a very bad season, in my opinion, and he's just missing for us. And the guy we brought up to help us, Joe Shobert, has also been a little bit off to me. He played pretty good yesterday. Lots of good tackles yesterday. It was one of his bright spots. But I think that both in coverage and tackling, he's been missing a lot of tackles too, and he's been slow at this slot/linebacker spots as well. So I think both Shobert, who we traded for, and Bush, who was really good last year before his injury, I thought we're going to come back as a really strong 1-2 punch of starters, and they're both letting me down right now. And once again, inside linebackers, where's Ulysses Gilbert? Where's Buddy Johnson? We had these draft picks who we've trusted over the last couple of years with special teams who are fast, who are strong for their undersized statures, who have not played. We had someone called Delonte West, Delonte somebody in there. I didn't even know. How are these guys we don't even know getting on the field when you have UG3 playing special teams, when you have Buddy Johnson in there? At least go to one of those guys who you drafted, who you kept, who you think could be something if our starters are not doing it for us. Spillane came in yesterday. He can't cover either, and he got injured. At least he can tackle guys. But all these guys, Spillane's coverage, Bush's coverage, Shobert overall, all been disappointments, and the other guys aren't being put on the field. So what's going on there? Coverage in general. Let's look at the big four here. Hayden, sadly, he's played okay when he's been out there. Hayden's been decent this year, but he's been hurt quite a bit. That's our number one guy, our most trusted guy. Cam Sutton's played on the outside. He's not played well on the outside. He had one or two really good games that he stood out big time for. Other than that, he's been kind of exposed this year. He's an inside guy. He is a third corner who plays coverage in the slot. He's not an outside guy, and it shows this year. Aside from those two good games, he's had about 7 bad ones, or below average ones at least. We got to get that fixed. Trey Norwood has had 1 or 2 really good games in the slot. Other than that, he's gotten beat quite a bit. He's been up and down inconsistent. Again, he's undersized and he's a rookie. I don't have a problem with him. I think he's going to get better, but he's very inconsistent right now. Same with Mollett. Mollett's a very good tackler. His coverage has been inconsistent. I think he's going to get better, but that's been an issue. Who else we got? Justin Lane. I was never really big on him. We got Akilla Weatherspoon who came over for the last couple of games. He's not really done a whole lot one way or the other yet. You got to start getting some of those guys on the field. You traded for him, and you traded for a safety. Put those guys on the field if we're not getting it done. Terrell Edmonds, good tackler, but missing a lot of tackles. Good tackler on the running backs, I should say. But on defense, we have issues on both sides. We're not covering very well in general on the outside. In particular, Sutton and the safeties. Run stopping, we're not doing good at all. They're getting to the second level because our front three are injured besides Cam. So they're getting to the second level, and guys like Bush are taking the wrong lanes, which means it's down to the secondary guys to tackle every time. By then, the guy already has 12 yards. So, and Minka Fitzpatrick, he got a nice pick yesterday, but he's been very quiet this year. He's not making plays. So now when you look at it overall, why have the Steelers gone 5-5-1? Again, not concerned about the record because we're only 2 games behind most teams, if not less, in the AFC. There's plenty of possibilities for the future, but we've got to start playing better now. First things first, offensively, block better. Create a run game. Oh, should have mentioned fullback, I guess. Don't need to because Derek Watt doesn't play. So, Matt Canada, put Derek Watt in there. Give our workhorse running back some chances to run behind pulling guards and Derek Watt and get the running game going. We got to get Najee to be our bell cow. We got to get more targets to Freiermuth. We got to keep Ben on his feet. No big mistakes from Ben. We got to get guys like Deontay down the field open. So yes, block, establish the run game, mix up your play calling for the run game, and then get the ball out of Ben's hands fast. Those are the keys on offense. Defensively, tackle the running back. Pick the right gaps. Don't gamble on your assignments. Bush and Shobert in particular, and the slot corners like Mollett, Cam Sutton. We have to cover better. Basically what I'm saying is we have to be better. We have a standard for being a great team, and this year, again, we're getting slaughtered by teams we shouldn't be getting slaughtered by. We've got a couple statement wins, but we're playing wildly inconsistent, and that needs to stop. So there's your breakdown of what I think has been wrong with the Steelers this season, and I hope we can turn it around. There's still plenty of time. There's plenty of divisional games, and we got to stay healthy. That's another big thing. We've been playing weeks without 5, 6, 7 starters. That's got to stop. I know we can't always control it, but staying healthy, tackling better, covering better in the slot, tight ends victimizing us all season, and blocking better on offense and getting better play calling. So this is your opportunity. Offensive line, Matt Canada. Secondary, linebackers, read better, cover better, step up better. Let's go Steelers. That's my breakdown for now. I will see you guys hopefully next Sunday. I want to get back to doing weekly reviews, so I'll see y'all next Sunday. Go Steelers.